Welcome everybody to this very special episode in The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. In this one, as the title implies, I'm going to be making a guide for the swamp fishing hole. So I'm going to go on over there and show you exactly how to catch each and every single fish that exists in that place. I'm going to slow down time so I have enough time to catch as many fish as possible, but it's kind of almost impossible to do it all in a 3-day cycle. You just kind of have to get some here and there. So this video is probably going to have a lot of editing and things of that nature. Right here I am withdrawing some rupees because it can get quite expensive to go fishing. And now that I have deposited 5,000 rupees and gotten the heart piece, I can safely withdraw as many as I want. I'm actually doing the commentary after the video here, since I mentioned that there's probably going to need to be a lot of editing just to get all the fish here together. But it's not going to be a problem. And let's head on over to the fishing hole. Fastest way to get there is through the southern swamp. It's right by the swamp shooting range, if you remember that from many episodes back. The Tingle just floating around. My god. Freaking Tingle. Alright, so it's just on over here. And the archery range here on the right, there's a couple of bushes next to it that have about 15 to 20 rupees each. And you can just go in and out and get rupees if you run out of money. Hey, so you feel like going fishing? No time limit, 50 rupees. Free if you got a fishing hole pass. So if you remember, I got a ton of fishing hole pass from earlier, from some of the mini games around Termina, so I'm going to be using them. A few of them from the Scrub mini game, the Honey Darling shop, and I got about 5. Hey, cool. Just fork over one fishing hole pass then. So which fishing rod do you want? So I'm going to go with the sinking lure for now. The rod with the sinking lure then, nice. Just the ticket for catching fishes who hang near the bottom of the water. The bottom dwellers. Sweet. Go show them fishies is moss. So let's go look over here. I'm going to go through all these fish over here. There's a poster for each and every one of them that you can catch in this hole, plus a secret fish in the end. So let's start with this one. This is the Termina bass. Lives in the swamp, quick to bite and easy to reel in. Swims without a care regardless of time and weather. So for this fish, he's here any time of the day, anywhere. You'll probably get tired of catching these because they're just everywhere. Nothing too special about it. You gotta use the sinking lure here. And then you can just reel them in. Nice and smooth. I gotta say, I do like the addition for the 3DS with the fishing. I always welcome extra content and more collectibles. You know me, I like collecting everything. So any more things that I can get my hands on is fun. This actually took several hours of work to catch all these fish, so it's by no means an easy task. But definitely doable. I'll be showing you how to do it. So I caught a lively Termina bass. This one's 9 centimeters long. Nice, good job. This is the first time you've caught one of these fellers. Alright, so next up, we have the ancient fish. Lives in the swamp, often referred to as a living fossil, and is said to feel a certain kinship with mummies. So the trick to catching this fish is that you can walk in and out of this place wearing the Gibdo mask. And if you walk in with the Gibdo mask and you hear that jingle, you know that the fish has spawned. So then that's your cue to go over here and buy a fishing rod. You don't have to buy it every time you come in. You can just come in and out until the fish you want has spawned. And then you can go in and grab the fish. So he hangs out in this corner right here. If you look at my mini-map, you can see exactly where I'm standing. And he's usually surrounded by a bunch of other fish. So you have to clear out some of the other fish first before you can actually hook him in. But he looks quite distinctive, so you shouldn't have any problem spotting him. There he is right there. See if he catches my bait here. And there you go. And it takes a little while to pull in. Obviously, the bigger the fish, the harder it's going to fight against you. Pretty cool looking fish. I really enjoyed that all the fish look very distinctive here. I like what they did with this mini game, I guess you can call it. I think it's pretty well developed. So you can catch this guy any time of the day, doesn't matter when. You just gotta be sure to be wearing the Gibdo mask. There you go. Caught a lively ancient fish. This one's 102 centimeters long. Nice job. This is the first time you caught one of these fellers. Cool. So let's see what's next. We have got the Colossal Catfish. It lives in the swamp, sensitive to earthquakes, bound to show up when the ground shakes. So this is the first of the several boss fish that exist. And by boss fish, I mean that there's a special thing you need to do in order to make them spawn. You have to spend maybe about a day or so fishing, catch maybe about 10 to 20 fish, and then you can start coming in and out of the fishing hole and these guys will spawn. So there's two things that make this guy come out. One is the Goron Pound, like you just saw. Also the moon shaking here on the final day can bring it out. But like I said, it is a boss fish, so you need to spend a significant amount of time fishing previously before he even has a chance of spawning. And there he is at the bottom. He looks like a catfish since he's a colossal catfish, so let's try to bring him in. And what's cool about these boss fish is that you get the boss music playing once you reel one of them in. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna let you guys enjoy this scene here, me reeling him in. Some of these fish put up quite a long fight, so I'm not gonna necessarily talk through all of these. So I've caught a lively colossal catfish, 150 centimeters long. Sweet. So it's first time caught one of those. Cool, alright. Next up, we got the Groovy Carp, lives in the swamp, can be found all across Termina, likes to swim in the shade of thick vegetation. So these guys like to hang out by that ancient fish. So this is actually when I was trying to catch that ancient fish. There's just a ton of these guys hanging around there. And they're not very cool, they're just tiny little uneventful fish. Pretty easy to catch, you shouldn't have any troubles with this one. There we go. Live little Groovy Carp, 5 centimeters long. Cool. Next up, we have got the Termina Loach, lives in the swamp. Most at home deep underwater, set to swim to the surface only when it rains. So you can play the Song of Storms, or come here on the second day and it will be more towards the surface. But you can also catch him at the bottom of the ocean here. I shouldn't say an ocean, this isn't an ocean. This is also when I was trying to catch that ancient fish. There just happened to be a Termina Loach here. So if you're looking for a specific fish, the best thing you can do is just put on your Zora mask and look inside the pond. Go down there and see if you find that specific fish that you're looking for. And if not, you can just exit and come back in until the one you're looking for appears. And there it is. Lively Termina Loach, 21 centimeters long. Alright, let's see. Next, we have the Postal Salmon. Lives in the swamp where it makes its daily rounds like clockwork. Its pattern looks kind of like a letter. So for this fish, they're not that rare. You can just come in and out and see if you find them. But you do need to wear your postman's hat, and you hear a little jingle. And these fish will not bite your line unless you're wearing the postman hat. So be sure to be wearing it. The only catch for this one is that it only appears between 6 AM and 9 PM. I like the way these guys look. Postal Salmon, 37 centimeters long. Hell yeah. Next up, we got the cucklefish. Lives in the swamp, a small fish that looks uncannily like a cuckoo. Said to love a good marching rhythm. So of course we're going to come in with our Bremen mask and march around. And he's pretty rare, so you might have to come in and out of the pond several times before this guy spawns. So you do have to take your Bremen mask off after you get him close, or else you can't cast your line. You'll just start marching in place. And then you can reel him in. And I like this fish. I like the way he looks. He definitely does look like a cuckoo. So this little chicken fish, he does not appear on day 2, so it must be day 1 or day 3. Next up, we have the Piranha. Lives in the swamp, a brutal piranha dubbed the Swampland Cow Killer, and it cannot resist the sight of a cow. So we're going to go ahead and put on our Romani mask to catch this one, and then it'll swim right up to you. And what's really funny about this one is if you swim on out to it, it'll actually bite you, because it's a freaking piranha. Look at that. Just nibbled at my toes, man. So, not too hard to reel this guy in once he's come close. As long as you're wearing your Romani mask, of course. There you go. 8 centimeters. Not bad. And next we have the ferocious Pirarucu. Lives in the swamp, a carnivore that ruthlessly preys on smaller fish. May go after other fish you're reeling in. So this is another boss fish. So like I've mentioned, you do need to catch many fish previously before this one will spawn. I'd say if you catch 20 fish, you're safe. And then you can start coming in and out of the swamp fishing hole, and he may or may not appear. Like I mentioned previously, you can use the Zora mask to see if he's there or not. And there he is on the left, but he won't bite unless you have another fish on the line, like this. And then you can reel him in. So this one fights pretty hard, so I'll let you enjoy the fishing here. Look how big that thing is. Ferocious Piroruku, 187 centimeters long. Pretty nice. See what's next? We got the sweet ranch fish, lives in the swamp, fond of rivers that meander through grasslands, and adores ranch melodies. I don't know why, but this is one of the hardest ones that I got to make spawn. But he'll spawn over here in this little pool on the left. He's the only fish that will spawn there. And you can play Epona's song to make him catchable. And then you can just cast your line. Now this guy is only available between 6 AM and 3 PM. So you cannot catch it outside of those hours. But I don't know, man. This was the hardest fish to get to spawn for some reason. I bet I walked in and out of this fishing hole like 100 times to get this thing to work. But he's there, I promise. And I got a 6 centimeter long one. Alright, not bad. Next up, we have the fragrant reek fish, lives in the swamp, likes to swim in the shallows. Sounds smelly, but it actually has a rather pleasant scent. So that should be your hint to use the Mask of Sense. This fish can appear on any day, but you can use your Mask of Sense to see if he's actually there, and you'll get a little puff of purple cloud indicating that he is there. This fish is actually kind of tricky to get him to latch onto your bait. You have to use the floater bait here for this one. And I just found it kind of hard to get him to bite, but he eventually will. I didn't necessarily notice any pattern of movement that will make him bite. I just kind of slowly reeled in, and that seemed to work eventually. Other times I would just kind of reel in a little bit, and he would circle around it, but then he'd lose interest and swim away, so I'm not entirely sure. It's a cool looking fish though, I like this one. 11 centimeters. Cool. Now there is one extra fish that does not appear in the posters. He is also a boss fish. So again, make sure you've caught plenty of fish previously, and then you can start entering and exit the hole, and you can see him appear. Now you're also going to need a fish on your bait, because this fish is only going to be attracted to other fish as far as baiting goes. So I have a little fish here on the eastern edge of the pond, and from the depths you see emerge that big freaking fish down there. Look at that. Boom. This is Lord Chapu-Chapu, obvious reference to Lord Jabu-Jabu from Ocarina of Time. He definitely looks the same, just a little miniature version. This is a legendary fish. It's really cool, but it takes so long to reel him in, guys. So I'm going to let you enjoy the fight here, even though me not talking during the music is probably going to get Nintendo to claim this video as their own. But that's alright. Just want to make sure I bring content out to you guys. I like how this fish is like 3 times the size of a little Deku Link, and he's standing on a little lily pad trying to reel him in. It's pretty funny. This is a long battle, but totally worth it. Look how cool this guy looks, man. It's like 5 little Deku Links. 416 centimeters long. Such a cool fish. Jumping jellyfish, I don't believe it. That there fishy's won what they call the king of the swamp. Good work, pal. Congrats on all that. So that is all the fish you can catch here at the swamp fishing hole. So let's take a look at my board here, and we'll go over all of them together one more time. And we should be able to look at all of these fish here. So I got the Termina bass, 13 centimeters. And then I got my Termina Loach at 21 centimeters. Groovy Carp at 5. Sweet Ranch Fish at 6. Fragrant Rick Fish at 11. Maranya at 8. And then my Postal Salmon, 45. I love the Postal Salmon. Cocoa Fish is 6. And then my Ancient Fish is 102 centimeters. Ferocious Piraruku, 187. And my Colossal Catfish is 150 centimeters. And Lord Chapu-Chapu, 416. So if you guys want to leave in the comments the size of the fish you've caught, especially Lord Chapu-Chapu, I'd be very interested to see that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, found it pretty interesting and informative. And I will catch you guys next time for the next fishing hole guide, all the way over in the Great Bay Coast.